Now that we're in the detailing phase, we can begin by painting in some panel lines. Painting height information is a great way to add details to your mesh that might have been something that you may have forgotten or was just too time consuming to model in your high-res mesh. In this lesson, we'll use the height channel to add more panel lines to the head portion. I'll start by adding a new fill layer. We can disable all the channels except for the height. I'll adjust this to -0.2 and name this layer height. We'll go ahead and add our black mask. Now all we have to do is paint inside of our black mask, so anywhere I start painting will get a depression into the mesh. Let's choose a smaller brush, like 0.3. I'll also enable symmetry for all of this painting. We can paint as normal, but if you're like me and have a shaky hand, what we can do instead is use the lazy mouse to get more consistent lines. The lazy mouse is located up by the toolbar. Now when I stroke across the mesh, I can get a bit of lag to make a more consistent line. We can change this amount by adjusting the lazy distance. Let's undo and change this to about 4. What this will allow me to do is correct my stroke as I paint. So I'll just carefully place this panel line in as neatly as I can. Now there may be a situation where you want to paint straight lines. Instead of freehanding it, we can hold the Shift key while painting to do a straight line. I'll add my panel line here, and just use the erase to take away from this section. Now these two parts are fairly easy to paint, but there are some situations where you have a more organic shape that you want to outline. In this case, I want to outline the two canisters at the top. It's difficult to see where they actually are, so instead what we'll do is use the curvature map as a template to trace over. I'll add a fill layer, name this curvature, click on the base color, and type in curvature. The curvature map we're choosing is the one we baked out for the project. Now we have some sort of guide to paint our lines up top. To make things even easier, I'll go back to the height layer and re-enable the base color and choose red. So let's go to the top and jump into the 2D canvas. To jump to the canvas mode, you can hit the hotkey F1 or F2. I'll enable my lazy mouse with a distance of 1 and carefully try to paint around that area. You can see I'm making quite a few mistakes, so I'm just undoing a lot and using the erase brush as I go. While we're at it, let's create a couple more lines up top. Now holding Shift and Control this time will snap your line to an angle and erase the middle portion. And I'll just re-enable lazy mouse to get a curved panel. When we're happy with the lines, we can simply delete that curvature layer. And now that we're done, let's match up those base colors and the roughness. Let's isolate the base color channel by hitting C. And let's go to the height layer and adjust the base color to a faint gray. I'll hit C again to isolate our roughness. And we can go and enable that on the height fill layer and simply pick a value that's going to match the rest of the panel lines. Before ending the lesson, I'll just go and fix up a couple parts here. So using the height channel of the fill layer in conjunction with a mask and your painting tools, you can quickly create some intricate shapes to your mesh. To push things even further, in the next lesson, we'll begin using some normal map stamps.